Alright, hi, and welcome to my first YouTube video. In the next 2 minutes, I'll dig into exactly why the ocean is like the one most important thing in the world. So honestly, without further ado, let's just jump right in. So first and foremost, the ocean produces more oxygen than the Amazon. So without the ocean, we die. Scientists believe that forests are only responsible for about 27% of the oxygen we breathe. In comparison, the ocean is responsible for the remaining 73%. So think about this for a second. 7 out of the 10 breaths you're taking right now, are because of the ocean. Well, how come we don't know this, or this is not a common knowledge? Well, the answer is really quite simple. Trees are just there, they're apparent, and forests are apparent. We can see them, feel them, hug them. But with the ocean, it's a little bit of a different process. The oxygen in the ocean comes from a microscopic plant called phytoplankton. These phytoplanktons like literally got our back. They spend their lives like getting carried away by oceanic currents, but they act the same way as leaves act on land. They absorb all the carbon dioxide and they release oxygen. We can see them, and so we tend to forget about them given that, we already know what they actually are. So this is the most important thing about the ocean. We literally use it to breathe. The second thing is that the oceans regulate our climate. So it soaks up the heat and transforms the water from the equator to the poles, and then absorbs the cold from the poles and then transforms that water back to the equator. So without these exchange in temperature, some regions will experience extreme weather conditions, which would lead to us just having like fewer places that we can habitat or live in. The third thing is that the ocean is a significant source of food. Over 1 billion people in the world rely on the ocean as their number one source of protein. Given that as humans we're growing by like 1.5 million people a week, we are relying on the ocean more and more for just mere survival. The fourth thing is that many jobs are related to like sea activities or ocean activities. So some research suggests that there's about 60 million people in the world that are engaged in these ocean-related jobs. Fishermen, lifeguards, surf instructors, harbors, diving schools, water sports centers, and even like hotels and holiday accommodations and stuff like that. All these businesses are relying on the ocean to like feed their families. So yeah, it's very important. Another thing and one that might be like a little bit obvious to a lot of you, but can you think of a better way to spend the holiday than next to like turquoise blue water, sunshine, good vibes, and like for many people like me, I honestly consider the ocean to be like my second home. It's my happy place. It's where I can like swim, surf, dive, just be myself the most, and even party, But for real though, let's take a second. Think about it. Think about a better vacation than the one by the ocean. Think about it. I'll give you $5. Think about it now. Yep, let's go. Yeah, see, there isn't. There really isn't. And if there is, let me know below, and like we'll talk about it. But yeah, it really just doesn't get better than walking on a beach, with the cool ocean breeze coming to your face and like a sunset or whatever coming down. And I always make the joke, I'm like, do you know when the sunset comes down, it makes like shh. Okay, it doesn't do that, but like still, it's always like a surreal experience. So yeah, the ocean, and it's also a kind of a pharmacy. So the ocean is kind of a pharmacy for humans. Some antiviral drugs like Zovirax were obtained just straight from like oceanic organisms. When we dip in the water, we have almost like, I feel like my inner dolphin gets released. And this is backed by science. It's called the mammalian diving reflex. And I honestly like felt this and learned it like early on in my life. But when our face touches the water, our heart rate like slows down. Our blood moves throughout our body better. So seals and dolphins, they feel that same thing. But yeah, as I said, like so do we. The ocean makes us feel alive, vibrant. It wakes us up. It's therapeutic, when we just see it, hear it, smell it, or taste its water. We're typically happy and at peace. And research has proven that, so-called blue spaces can directly reduce psychological stress and improve your mood. And despite all of that, we still know more about Mars than we know about our ocean. A healthy ocean keeps us healthy on Earth. We are alive right now because of the ocean. But now the ocean needs to be kept alive by us. The choices we make today will determine our future and our children's futures and our grandchildren's futures. So we have a responsibility to care for the ocean the same way it cares for us. And that is all. Next time, we'll be talking a little bit more about what you can do to save our oceans. Peace and love. Take it easy.